Good morning, or good afternoon, depending on which part of the country you are in. And welcome. Today is our money day, and I am super excited to be here. This is one of my favorite topics to talk about. I love talking about money. And for most people, it makes them squiggle and wiggle. And so today, get the squiggle and wiggles out because we are going to be talking about money and how you can make more of it and how you can transform your life using money, all the good things. So I am super glad you're here and super excited that you are here. And yay for you guys following through and continuing to commit to your journey to success. Yay you. If you're still here on day 3, it means you are committed to yourself. So congratulate yourself. One of the things that I love to do is to help us shift all the time. So constantly I'm asking my clients, okay, what's going well for you? So this morning, what is going well for you already? What is one thing that is going well? Pop it in the chat if you're here. Or if you're listening to this on replay, pop it in the chat on replay. Like, this is going well for me today. So we can all celebrate with you. So today we're talking about money, money, money. Have you ever wished you had more money? Who doesn't? Like, let's be real, people. Let's be totally honest, break down all the barriers. I don't know a single human who, when they're totally honest with themselves, doesn't want more money. Maybe you want less debt. Maybe you want a raise at work. Maybe you want your business to reach 6 figures or 7 figures. Like, seriously, who doesn't want more money? Let's just put away all the pretenses and be honest today and talk about money. Even if it makes you wiggle and squiggle and super uncomfortable, today is the day for you to get real, for us to get real together about money. Woohoo! So excited because I love this topic. It changes your whole life. My name is Lainey Hauser, and I am a money mindset, money mentor, business mentor, life mentor. I am the founder of Money Joyfully and Rise and Thrive. And I help women live into their purpose with passion, make more money so they never feel stuck again, and that life is easy and relaxed. And this morning, I want to talk about yesterday, kind of review yesterday and the day before. The first day we talked about raising strong in your feminine energy, living from your center, your core, the foundation where your hips and your belly, your womb space, really allowing life to come from that space out. And then practicing the art of receiving. Receiving is a unique feminine quality, and the more we're open to receive, the more money will flow to us. One of the biggest money blocks that we have is receiving. That's why I did that day first, so that you're prepped for today when we're talking about money, how to make more money, how to let money into your life. You have to be a good receiver. Most women are good givers. We give until we're depleted. I know that we do that. I've done that. I'm guilty as charged. And I know that most of us as women are guilty of giving. And I want you to practice receiving. That's why it's on your tracker. For 4 days, practice every single time you've received with gratitude. Receiving initiates gratitude, and gratitude is what will shift your entire life. So, now, yesterday, we talked about joy and shifting from the suffering state to the joyful state. And one of the ways to shift from suffering to joy is to be a quick decision maker, right? So the quicker you make decisions, the more money you're going to make, the more your life is going to be full, and the more joy you're going to have. It just works that way. So for some of you, you need to go and you need to sign up for Rise and Thrive right now. You just need to I'm on it. I'm going to make this quick decision. You don't have to know how. You don't have to know all the hows. You just have to trust yourself that you'll do the work. I know how to lead you. I know how to get you where you want to go. And you just have to trust yourself to do the work. So just make a step. You're going to go and you're going to sign up, and you're going to sign up by tomorrow night at midnight so that you get that fast action decision bonus. And for some of you, the decision is tomorrow or Sunday night at 4:00. You just need to go and you need to sign up for that Zoom session. And you're thinking, well, I don't know if I can make that time. Maybe there's something better happening. Maybe I don't want to miss anything. Friend, I want to tell you, the faster you make decisions and you just decide, I'm going to show up for myself full-heartedly, and I'm going to be there at 4 o'clock Pacific, whatever time zone that is for you, 7 Eastern, and you just decide, I am going to make this choice. I'm going to show up, and you go and you sign up right now. That's acting quickly. Sign up for this session on Sunday night. It's free coaching for you. Why would you not take that? Everyone can use coaching. I don't know a single soul who makes it without coaching. All of us have coaching. Brene Brown, Tony Robbins, you name it. And we've all rely on coaching to better our personal lives and development. We all learn from each other. So go and sign up for that. Make the quick decision. You don't need to know what else is going on Sunday night. You just need to decide, okay, this is it, and I'm going to decide, and I'm going to do it. If you've already made another commitment, you can either do one of two things. One, keep your commitment. One, just go and do the commitment that you've already got. Two, figure out how you can make it work out so that you can come on Sunday night at 4 o'clock. Either way, those are two things for you to go sign up for. Make a quick decision. Really, guys, this is your opportunity to shift and change and make a difference for your life. So I promise that today you're going to have some really big shifts around money, and that you're going to learn some new things. We're going to identify some blocks today that you have around money. I'm going to teach you what blocks are. And I want money to be easy and relaxed for you. And I want money just to be a thing that you enjoy. That money comes with a sense of joy and gratitude instead of fear and dread and panic and tears and overwhelm and all the stuff that goes along with money. Because, my friend, money is super fun once we understand it. Quick reminder, don't forget to post your tracker. I did it in the Facebook group so that you get credit. Tomorrow we're going to have a drawing, and Sunday night we're going to have a couple drawings so that you get entered to win cash prizes. Today we're going to talk about channels and how money comes to you through different channels in your life. We're going to talk about what those are. This is one of them. So let's just dive right into money. One of the things that we are afraid to admit that we want more money because we don't want to appear greedy, we don't want to appear money hungry, or even worse, evil. We don't want to appear evil. We've been told that money is the source of all evil. And today I want to dispel that myth. That is not true. And this verse in the Bible that says that the love of money is the root of all evil. People, it's not the love of money in that sense. As a matter of fact, I think poverty and all of the things that go with the mindset of poverty and wanting what you don't have and all of that creates more chaos in the world. All the crime in the world is coming from people who have a poverty mindset, not from people with money for the most part. So we're going to talk about this. Money is not evil. Money is neutral. Money has no meaning at all. Zero. It is neutral. It means nothing except for the meaning that you give it. So you get to shift today. If your meaning has been in the past that money is evil and I don't want to love money and I don't want to appear to love money, I don't want to appear greedy, today's your opportunity to begin to shift that and to see money as neutral. It is only the meaning that you give to money that it actually has. And there's two ways to create miracles with money. One is you doing work, putting your inspired action into place. Tomorrow, we're going to work on taking inspired action, and we're going to make a plan for your year. So stay tuned for tomorrow. But today, my friend, I am going to give you permission. Release all of the junk and crap that goes around along with your money mindset. Money is not evil. Money is neutral. It only has the meaning that you give it. So I give you permission. I often hear from people who are in business, women, women who are in business and doing things to create good in the world. And they tell me, well, Lainey, I don't really care about the money. I just want to serve people. I just want to do good. People, I have some bad news for you. You cannot serve people wholeheartedly if you are not charging for your services. You can't. Eventually, you become bitter and resentful. I know firsthand what it's like. I gave away my services when I was a counselor all the time when I first started counseling, and I didn't understand how money worked and that you have to actually exchange value. Money is simply an energy exchange, nothing more. Money is energy. It is energy coming into us and energy going out. That is it. So if you are giving away your services and you're giving away energy and you're continually giving out energy out without taking energy back and being a good receiver, you are going to get resentful. You're going to be jealous and envious. We're going to talk about some of the things that show you that you have money blocks in just a minute. But I want you to know that today is the beginning for you to have joy and peace around money. Yay! Yay, right? I love this so much because when we begin to work on our money story, life gets better. Your relationships get better. Your health gets better. Your mental health gets better. Your business, your career, and of course, your money gets better. Your finances get better. And there's a reason we didn't talk about this on the first day, because you need to understand that money comes over here. And you're never going to make more money. You're never going to create what you want to create in the world until you change the inside. Money is just a result. It's an external result of what's happening in here. So that's what I love about shifting our money story, because when we shift our money story, it changes everything about us on the inside. It changes who we are fundamentally on the inside. So let's make money easy. Let's be clear that money is here to serve us. We are the master of money, and money is the servant. It goes where we tell it to go. Where you are right now in your finances, whether you have negative $100,000 in debt to $100,000 in a bank account, doesn't matter, or anything in between. That is a result of what you in the past have told money to do. You are the master of money. It is serving you. So if you are a lot in debt, it's because you've told it to do that. I'm going to teach you how to undo that. If you have money in the bank, it's because you've told it to do that. Money is your friend. It is your servant. It wants to serve you. We love people and we use money. You will hear me say every once in a while, I love money. Well, I love talking about money. I love the topic of money because it means when we're exchanging money well, it means that we're serving at our highest level and we're loving people well. Money is such a beautiful topic. It doesn't have to be a struggle anymore. Money is not a struggle. Let me remind you, my friend, that I came from a place where I grew a 7-figure business. My last month in business, my business grossed $177,000. And a few months later, I was on food stamps. What in the world? We know that money comes and money goes. And money is not the source of our happiness, but I will tell you this, my friend. Money makes your life a whole lot easier. It just makes things looser and easier to figure out. And not only that, it's so much fun because it means you're doing 100%. Anytime you're living 100%, life is super fun. Don't you want to have more fun? Join me on this journey to create more fun, to rise and to thrive. So here I am. I brought in my business brought in 177,000. A few months later, I'm on food stamps. That was in February of that year. And I got out of treatment. I got in a car accident that February. A gentleman ran a stop sign, sideswiped me, totaled my car, totaled me. I was a mess for a while. Here I'd gotten out of treatment. I'm trying to get my life back together, and I got in a car accident. So I needed to buy a new car. I went and I bought a brand new Acura ILX hybrid. And a few months later, I'm on food stamps, driving my brand new hybrid Acura to the food bank, sitting in my car crying. How did I get here? How did I go from seven figures to food stamps? But it's not all that unusual, my friend. We see all the stars and all the people that are celebrities. We see them going from all these huge amounts of money to nothing. Why? Because it doesn't matter how much money you make. It matters about your mindset. Bruce Springsteen yesterday or last week or whatever, he just sold every single right to his music to Sony for $500 million. Why would he do that? The only reason I can think of are Bob Dylan or Tina Turner, or some of these celebrities. I watch them because I'm like, this is so fascinating to me that you would turn over all the rights to everything you've created in your life to some big corporation for a sum of money. It means that you're out of money, or it means that you're looking for another way to make money. Why? Because they don't have the money mindset I'm going to be teaching you today. So while I was making this huge amount of money, I was overwhelmed and I was burnt out. My marriage was falling apart. My husband was, had an anger addiction over here. I was working with a severely traumatized, and I was getting it's called secondary traumatization, working with these clients. My life was falling apart. I couldn't keep all the plates spinning. And so I let go. In those months that followed, where I lived in my condo by myself and I had nothing, I living on food stamps and the little money that was trickling in still left over from my business, trying to make ends meet. I was just so thankful to have food on my table and cute plates to eat on. It was a bittersweet time in my life. But while I was there, I was like, what in the world happens? What just happened in my life? And I just began to open up and to study money. I've read over 300 books, probably more than that, on the topic of just money mindset. Not even cracking open the topic of investing and all the different, wealth building, all of that. But I want to tell you, some of us are afraid to grow. We're afraid to leave people behind when we do our own personal growth and development. And I want to tell you, when you go on this journey with me, when you're committed to creating success for yourself, and you are, yes, Trish, difficult to grasp. Stay tuned, buckle in, and we're going to go on a journey together. Difficult to grasp. Yes, it takes a while to get it. Yeah, I have read over 300 books and just began to practice. And I didn't say very much about what I was learning because I was learning so much. My mindset was shifting. I was beginning to think like someone who's built wealth, not just a business that succeeds and falls and does all that, but to really understand, what does it mean to build wealth? And so I began to shift my mindset. And I didn't say a whole lot to my husband. He's not on the personal growth and development journey with me, but he is on the journey with me. He's on the journey with me because as I grow and I change, he changes without me saying a word. And this is a promise that I give to my clients when I work one-on-one with them, and they're so afraid to take that step, take that journey, because they're afraid they're going to leave their spouse or their significant other or their friends behind. And I promise you, 100% across the board, every single client has told me this. You were right. You were right. My husband said to me today, wow, the change in you is so awesome. And they rise up. So when I began to change my money story, when I began to stop struggling around money, and when I changed my thinking and my actions around money, guess what started to happen? It was the strangest thing. I was like, okay, this is so strange. Not me saying a word, just me going about silently, quietly rising up into the best version of me. My husband said, I want to invest in properties. Like, what? What's happening here? And so we began to invest. We took the money that we had, we took extra, we scraped, and we began to invest. Now we have 6 properties across 3 states, bringing in passive income for ourselves. If we can do it, you can do it. You don't have to struggle with money. Drop it. So a couple of things to remember as I talk about money. You are not the source. You are not the source of your money. God is the source. Universe is the source. Whatever bent, I know that there's many different bents here, many different ways of thinking here. For me, it's God. That's what works for me. But your source is bigger than you. Whatever is greater than you, that's your source. You are not the source. When you switch this around and you settle down into the place where, oh, I can surrender to that, makes life so much easier. And I want to tell you, my friend, God wants you to have money. Let me tell you, Mother Teresa flew around in a private jet. We like to think like, oh, serving people. I just want to serve people. I don't really care about the money. You know, I've heard this so many times. I just want to do my ministry. I don't care about the money. Care about the money. It matters. It matters to you, matters to God, and it matters to the person who's paying you. God is your source. He wants you to have money. He's never withholding money from you. He doesn't have to because you do. You and your limited thinking. There is plenty of money in this world. That is not the problem. And if money were to be distributed evenly across every single human, everyone would have enough. Money is not the problem. Lack of love is the problem. So when we rise up and we learn to love people, let money serve us, and know that there's plenty to go around. When someone is paying you, they are simply exchanging neutral energy with you, because remember, money is neutral. And so when you are allowing someone to pay you, you are simply allowing money to flow through one of the channels. And when you refuse to allow people to pay you, and it doesn't matter what you do, whether you're in direct sales and you're selling makeup or tea, or you're in some sort of direct sales, or you've got your own business, your own side hustle, or you've got a real estate business on the side. I know a lot of people who are teachers. And teachers, you don't have to settle for your teacher salary. That's not a thing. That is not a thing. So if you're a teacher and I'm speaking to you right now, I want to tell you that on Wednesday, I sat out in my little family room over here, and my daughter, who is a teacher, we outlined her business for 2022. She and I sat down and I did some of the same things that I do with my clients with her, and we outlined her business. And do you know, in 2022, her art business, she sells art. She sells art on Etsy. She sells art at art shows, and she's continually creating beautiful new art pieces. She works a lot with cowgirls and the cowgirl theme. She's kind of found a niche for herself. Her art is beautiful. And she makes more. This year, she's going to surpass her teaching income with her art. So it doesn't matter what you do. If you're a nurse, get a side hustle. Create something. If you're listening to this, you are a creative woman. You are not stuck. It does not matter what your income is today. You can create something brand new tomorrow, starting now. But if you don't remove your money blocks about people paying you for goods and services, if you don't understand that there's plenty of money, and if we were to distribute it to the world tomorrow, everyone would have enough. And a month from now, those who are poor would continue to be poor because they don't understand the concepts that I'm teaching you now. I teach people how to get out of debt. And the only way to really get out of debt is to stop focusing on your debt. Sounds counterintuitive. And you're like, oh, wait, if I stop focusing on my debt, I would get in more debt. No. It works like this. When you start to focus on what brings you joy, creating more of that, and charging for your services or your product, whatever you're working on, or your side hustle, you're focused on that. More money's coming in. You set your debts on auto pay. And you just continue to focus over here. Your joy rises, your level of fulfillment rises because you're focusing on what you love instead of your debt. And you just begin to let your debt pay off itself. Doesn't mean you can't throw huge chunks of money at it as you begin to make more. It just means you shift your focus, because wherever your focus is, there your energy flows. If you're focused on your debt, your energy will go towards your debt. And you will be overwhelmed. You will be fearful. You will be in panic because you're being awake in the middle of the night. How am I going to pay that? One of your exercises today is to figure out what you would do with $25,000. Most of you have no idea. And I want to say, my friend, if I gave you $25,000 today and I said you may not pay off debt, you have to do something fun with that money, what would you do? That's your assignment today. Sit down, be with yourself. A lot of money blocks are going to come up for you around this. You're going to be like, oh, I got to pay off my debt. No, don't get to do that with this $25,000. You just get to imagine what fun you'd have creating $25,000. You're also going to sit down and figure out, oh my gosh, if I ran out of money, what would I do? Your brain will get creative if you run out of money, it will figure out ways to make money for you. So what exactly is a money block? It's an important concept to understand when we're talking about money, because money is designed to flow. It's designed to go in and out of your life. As a matter of fact, one of the first things you can do is go gather up all the spare change that you have got in your around your house. We all have all this spare change. Take all that spare change, go turn it into the bank and let it flow somewhere in your life. Spend it. Go and let it flow. Money goes in, money goes out. It's a flow. It's a natural flow. That's why it brings joy. Joy is a flow too. So it can bring joy in your life. So a money block, in order to understand this, let me explain to you a little bit about where I live. I live in the high desert. I live at 3,700 feet. I live east of the Cascades. So the Cascades on the West Coast, I'm looking out my window because the Cascades are right here. They're the volcanoes in part of the western part of the world that extends as far south as California and as far north up into Canada. It's very dry here. And so I live in the high desert. We get on average 11, 12 inches of rain or precipitation a year. Not very much. It's very dry. And so our farms and ranches, we have a lot of cattle ranches out here, a lot of farms out here, but they depend on the hundreds of miles of canals that carry water from our river to the canal, to the farms, right? So the canals are here. There's thousands of miles of canals going every which direction to all of the farms. And I often think money is like this, right? There's different canals going different directions to feed the different farms. There are different channels or canals that money comes through in your life. Dozens, if not hundreds of ways that money can come to you. And when you begin to look for them, you'll see that there's different ways that money can come to you. It's one of your assignments today too. Like, look for the different ways that money comes to you. One time my daughter found $100 laying on the track at her high school where she worked. $100 bill. She's like, oh, Mom, it's probably drug money. That's a channel. That's a canal. That's a place where money can flow. Another time she was walking the track and she found a diamond, a 1 carat full-blown diamond. It must have fallen out of someone's ring. She just found it laying on the ground. Those are channels. Those are ways that money comes to us. She's open to all this, so money comes to her. When you begin to open your mind and open your heart to money, you're going to see like, oh, wow, it's so weird. It comes in different ways. One of my clients said to me this week or last week or a couple of days ago, she said to me, she's like, Lainey, you're right. And she panicked when we talk about money, like panic. Her whole body would be like, oh, I can't talk about money. And she said, oh my gosh, you're right. I now see that money can flow to me in different ways. So we have limiting beliefs. We have things that block these canals. So if these canals are blocked in my city, the farmers get no water. There's no water coming through. It's the same way with money. When we block the flow of money coming into our life with our limiting beliefs, with our money trauma, our old money stories, money stops flowing. So here are 5 signs. If you're taking notes, this is a great place to write this down. Here are 5 signs that you have money blocks. Number 1, you have frequent feelings of jealousy, bitterness, resentment. Because once you understand the concept that money is always there and there is always enough for you, your feelings of bitterness and resentment and jealousy go away. And you see someone who's making a lot more money than you can instead look at them with admiration and shift your jealousy, because it simply means that you can have that too. Look at someone who makes more money than you and just go, oh, if they did it, I can do it. It's so true. You get out of your old mindset. Now, remember, I can't see your name. So I know someone here has commented that it's so true. God's been speaking me to get out of my old mindset, right? Get out of your old mindset. When you do, you will see that money flows. So once it seeks into you that there is enough money for you, the jealousy goes away, the envy goes away. And it becomes a source of gratitude. When I look at women who are making way more than me, because there's always going to be someone more than you. My mom used to say, never compare yourself because you'll always end up in the middle. There's always someone richer. There's always someone skinnier. There's always someone da 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 da. And there's always someone who's worse off than you. So you're always going to end up in the middle. And who wants to be mediocre? God didn't create us to be mediocre. He created us to fly, soar on wings like eagles. So that's one sign. You have frequent feelings of jealousy and bitterness and resentment. So begin to shift that and understand that there's always enough money. Every time you feel yourself resenting or bitter, and if you're working for yourself, think about, am I resentful because I'm not charging my clients enough? What can I do to change my fees around a little bit so that it feels good to me? I talk about pricing and how to price your services in my I have a year-long program. It's called Divine Profit Mastery, Divine Profit Academy, where you learn how to create a business from scratch. And I work with clients for a whole year to create a business. One of the things I work on is pricing your services so that you don't have jealousy, bitterness, or resentment, because you can't serve people well if you have those feelings going on. Okay, number 2, hoarding what you do have. You're afraid to let go. And if you've been with me for a while, those of you who've traveled with me for the last couple of years or couple months, you will hear me say that letting go is the key to transformation. Whether it means letting go of a relationship, letting go of some stuff that you've got piled around. You want to create change in your business. One of the things that I know is if I want to create a shift in my business, the first thing I do is clear out my office. I have a clearing of all the stuff that I've gathered and papers and all the different things that kind of pile up around me, and I clear it all out. I know that letting go is a key to transformation. Sometimes it means letting go of money so that I can pay someone to coach me. That's a letting go so I can experience transformation. Sometimes it's letting go of people in my life. Sometimes it's letting go of stuff. Sometimes, and a lot of times, most of the time, it's letting go of the way of thinking. So as you begin to let go of some of your old thinking, let go of some of the stuff you have. Working on your mindset, letting go, letting go, letting go. Creating a new thing in your mind. So if you don't let go of the old stuff, you can't have room for new stuff. Gotta let go. So stop hoarding and begin to allow transformation to take place. You know, I often talk to women. I talk to women a lot. That's what I do, right? And women are terrible about spending money on themselves. We'll spend money on clothes sometimes. I know women who go a year without spending money on clothes or things that would make their life easier, better, or a house cleaner, or some of the things that really make life easy. And I often talk to women who can't stand in their own power. And they're like, oh, I got to talk to my husband. Their husband is like, no, I want to tell you that your husband doesn't have your dream. Your dream is invisible to the outside world. It exists only in here. Only you can see it. So you have to take steps of faith for yourself. We don't go and ask our husbands. We are partners with them. They are partners with us. And we discuss and we share, and then we make a decision about what we're going to do. Sometimes I'll work with men. And honestly, ladies, I just love working with men. First of all, they're fast decision makers. They're like, yeah, I'm in. I want to do that. And they don't, most men do not come and ask you if they can spend money. They inform you or they discuss it with you. And because we're such givers, we're like, oh yeah, sure, honey. We don't get the same response when we do that with our spouses. We don't go and ask permission. That's not a thing. Shift your mindset about how you interact. You want your relationship with your spouse to grow? Be an equal partner with him. Now, you guys know my story. I lived with an angry guy for 24 years. It was terrible. And at the end, it was even worse right before I went to treatment. I wasn't even sure. It was terrible. Friends, it was terrible. And I want to tell you, he's shifted, he's changed, and I have such an amazing marriage. But I never go and ask him permission to do things. That's not a thing. I used to. I used to think that was a thing. Like, oh, can I do this? I don't do that. I discuss with him. We discuss together our investments, and sometimes I spend money without even asking him, because I know that when I invest in myself, I'm investing in him and our relationship. So begin to let go of your old thinking, let go of some stuff. The third thing, giving all kinds of money away. You give money to your kids, you give money to your family members, you lack boundaries in all other areas. And here's where it shows up a lot. I used to give away all my money. I would make this money and my kids would need it, so I would give it away. And in the time when I was bringing in all that money, my kids were in college. It was just like, oh, here's another check for $5,000. Here's another check for $10,000. Here's another check for $60,000. You give all your money away. I follow someone named Rachel Rogers, and I love her. She talks about bad decisions. And she says, ladies, those are broke-ass decisions. Her thing is that we should all be millionaires. And I agree with her. I agree that we should all be in that journey, because it changes you from the inside out. So giving all your money away, look at the places where you're giving it away, where you're not even keeping it, or you're just handing it over. Number 4 is you feel desperate. You feel the sense of desperation. I'll never find my way out of debt. I need more money to be happy. Money will help keep me in relationships. My life is ruined if I don't have enough money. And you justify all this lack. You live in a place of lack. I don't need more money. I'm just so happy to serve the people. Friend, you need money because it's an exchange of energy. All the stuff that we've gone over so far should already be helping you open your mind to the fact that, like, oh yeah, actually I do need money for my services. Oh, here's one. More money just equals more problems. No, I want to tell you, more money does not equal more problems. Once you get down and understand money mindset, more money makes your life fun and easy. You think abundance only comes to those who work hard. No, friend, that's not true. That's a lie. Abundance and financial abundance comes when we relax into money and we understand that money comes in different canals, different channels, and that God is our source. My friends and family will think I'm greedy or selfish if I have more money. My friend, money doesn't change who you are. It doesn't make you greedy or selfish. As a matter of fact, when you continue to work on this money mindset, it makes you kinder, gentler, more open. Money is just a magnifier of who you already are. It just makes you more generous. If you're already generous, it's going to make you more generous. And more money doesn't make you happier. We can all see proof around us that unhappy people have money. And the opposite is true too. But I want to tell you, more money does make your life easier, because money is an external barometer of what's happening in here. Money is not in here, money's external, but the money that's coming to you is because of how you're thinking. All right, number 5, criticism and negative judgment. If you find yourself criticizing and judging those who have more money, why would you ever have more money? This is a place where it can be so sneaky. Someone said to me not long ago, oh, those people who live over here, they send their kids to this and this and this school. And she was someone who was working and trying to build up her business. And I looked at her and I said, oh, watch it. Because you will never become one of those people if you judge and criticize them. Because why would you want to be someone who you judge and criticize? If you're criticizing and judging those who have more money than you, how can you become that? You will repel that. That will be an opposite thing of what you will become. People who have money are snobby and uptight, and I'm just not that kind of person. Why would you ever build anything where you could create more money if you believe that people who have money are snobby and uptight? Because you don't want to become that kind of person. That is a money block. Money is the root of all evil in the world. Friend, money is not the root of all evil. Even the people that we look at and we think, well, they were poor. I'm telling you, friend, Jesus was not poor. He had someone in his midst keeping track of that silver. He had kings coming to visit him when he was born. He was not poor. Stop with this like Jesus was poor stuff. Like, let that go. Limiting belief. Rich people should give their money away to the less fortunate. That's a money block. That's a judgment or a criticism. And we just talked about if every rich person gave their money away and gave it all around the world, the poor would still be poor. And those who had money would still have money because they know how money works. Everything is always so expensive. Stop it. Stop saying these kind of things. They're judgments and criticisms. And rich people are not spiritual. I get that a lot from people in spiritual settings, and it doesn't matter which spiritual orientation you come from. It's across the board. Friend, there are a lot of people with a lot of money who are deeply spiritual. They've got it right. These are all money blocks. One of the money blocks that I had to get rid of, and I worked for years on my mom grew up very poor. My grandmother, another thing about money is that there's generational blocks. And we talk about that in my Rise and Thrive. We'll talk about generational blocks, how to break those off of us, how to get rid of some of the generations. But my grandmother was very poor. She didn't have any shoes. She'd go to school in shoes that had holes in them in New York where it was cold. And so my mom grew up really poor. Funny thing enough, she married my dad. My dad was very wealthy. My dad came from a very, very wealthy family. My grandmother's father made a lot of money during the Great Depression. She lived in a great, big old, huge old house in downtown Oakland, huge, one of the old mansions in downtown Oakland. That's where my grandmother was raised during the Depression. And my grandfather was an architect who, if you live in Southern California and your school is in Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach, Fullerton, Orange County, somewhere down there, and your school was built in the 60s, there's a good chance that my grandfather was the architect of that school. He made oodles of money. So my dad is very rich. My mom is very poor. And that's how I come into the world. And my mom has this theme in her life. I can't afford it. I can't afford it. I can't afford it. Now, my parents divorced, and that was when I was 4. And my mom married my stepdad. And in the height of his career, in the 80s, this guy was bringing in 700,000 easily a year. And my mom still said, I can't afford it, because that was her mindset. So I grew up with that mindset. So I found myself saying, I can't afford it. Stop. Don't ever say that again. Never say I can't afford that. That's a money block. It's going to limit you from being able to create more money in your life. So money is neutral, and these are the signs. These are 5 signs that you've got money blocks. Identify in your life where one of those, where you find yourself. Where is one of those blocks in your life? And then just begin to remove it, undo it, be curious about it. No judgment. Remember, not judging ourselves. We're just being curious. Well, that's interesting that I think that way. Where did that come from? How can I shift that? All about being curious. And then how do we remove the blocks? So the first step in removing the blocks is just becoming aware. All the stuff that we've just talked about. Becoming aware that you've got a block is the first step to removing it. Raising your awareness. Keep a little journal and write this stuff down. Every time you find yourself feeling uncomfortable talking about money, every time you've got the wiggles and like, oh, this makes me uncomfortable, jot it down and just begin to explore it with curiosity. Just an awareness. And then letting go of those beliefs. Deciding to believe something else. Yesterday we talked about deciding. You can do the same thing here. You've got a limiting belief. Decide to believe something different. You get to choose what you believe. The second block. So the first part we talked about how to know that you've got blocks. These are actual blocks. The first block is not having awareness that you have blocks. So that's why I gave you the 5 steps to know that you have blocks, so that you can raise awareness and clear some of the blocks. The second block is the idea that I'm just surviving. And that gets blocked whenever we're in survival mode, which is why I taught yesterday about how to create joy. The survival mode is the struggle mode. Survival mode is the suffering mode. We're just scraping by. We're surviving. I hear that sometimes from my clients. Oh, I'm just surviving. Stop just surviving. Choose your way out of that. When we believe that we're just surviving around money, we're just going to continue to scrap and scrap and scrap and scrap. Money is energy. Money is neutral. Money moves and flows. That's why it's called currency, my friend. Currency flows. It's a joyful energy. So if you want more of it in your business, in your life, and you want it to flow, you've got to manage your flow of it. One of the things that I do in my mentorship programs when I'm creating a meditation is it's always recorded at 432 megahertz. It's the frequency of joy to the ears. And it's so our lower thoughts, our lower emotions. Remember, an emotion is just energy in motion. Each emotion creates its own frequency. The lower frequency of emotions like anger and depression, all the lower emotions where we feel someone walks in a room with a strong emotion, you can feel it. It's very palatable because it's their frequency is vibrating and you're feeling that in your body. That's what emotion is, energy in motion. The best thing you could, well, we'll talk about this more in my program, Rise and Thrive, but the best thing you could do with an emotion is just let it rise and let it out so that energy is out of your body, energy in motion. So the lower your frequency of emotion, when you think about money, you're going to be vibrating at a very low level and you're going to attract other low vibration in your life. When you shift to joy, which is a higher vibration and peace and ease and relaxation, when you shift to that mode, life gets easier and you're going to attract more of that in your life. So it's continuing to shift out of the flow state of joy and suffering, right? This is another place. Now you see why I did those two first and this is third. Okay, so how do you remove the block of I'm suffering around money, or I'm stuck around money, or I am surviving around money? You shift to joy. It's a constant shift. And the third one we're going to talk about today, and there are lots of money blocks. In my program, I deal a great deal about money. So if this is a topic where you need work, go and sign up for Rise and Thrive. We'll work on money. We're going to work on it together. You get one-on-one time with me. It's going to be great. But this block for me is really close to home because I never have enough. It's a money block I struggled and worked for years and months. So if you feel like you never have enough, it's an old programming. It's an old way of thinking. So part of your homework is to imagine that you have an extra $25,000 and imagine this money of $25,000 with gratitude. It's come into your life. You have gratitude around it. Just play an imaginary game. Use your imagination. You use it all the time to create things in your life. Use it to create something beautiful today. You're going to take this $25,000 and you cannot put it towards debt and you have to spend every last penny. So you're going to write down what you're going to spend it with joy. And just allow this feeling of joy and enough to come into your life so that you get to experience what it's like to not suffer with money in your imagination. And that's where it starts. And then you get to celebrate. Another way out of this is celebrating every single penny that comes into your life. Do you know when I find a penny on the ground, I pick it up. Yes, even a penny. I pick it up and I pick it up with gratitude and I say, thank you. Thank you that this is a sign to me that money is always coming to me and that there's always enough. And I put it in my pocket and I just say, thank you. Thank you, God, that there's always enough money. But there are plenty channels. That's a channel for me. That's a canal for me that money flows into. So yesterday we talked about awareness and how we raise our awareness and we make a decision. The quicker you make decisions, and if you've never done this before, you're just going to have to trust me, that the quicker you make decisions and commit to them and do it 100%, the quicker your life transforms. The same goes for money. Make a commitment to yourself. How much money do you want to make in 2022? Do you want to be stuck with your same old salary? Do you know that when you change your money mindset, it makes it easier for you to go in and ask for a raise? And if you're in a job where there's a pay scale, you're in a government job, or you're a teacher, or you're some kind of job where there's like this pay scale and you just go up it, start a side hustle. An extra $100 or $200 a month is powerful. It will change your life. You can do it. I talked at the beginning, if you're just catching this now, I talked at the beginning about teachers that I know who run side hustles. Go listen to that part. So your action steps today are to be working on your becoming aware of your money blocks, and then begin removing them. I think the questions on today's action sheet are really going to help you dig in. Spend time going back and doing your homework from yesterday on joy. And remember that the early decision, I love to reward people who make an early decision because it will change your life, people. Go and sign up for Rise and Thrive. If you're ready to create more success, more joy, and more money in your life, just go sign up right now. We're going to be using the 12-week year model so that you actually get in a 12 weeks to create something that would have taken you in the past a whole year to create. You're going to grow in your spiritual life. I promise. Studying money, doing the money work causes you to just have so much gratitude, and it increases your faith. It increases everything about your life. Your relationships go down deeper. Who knows? Maybe your husband will start investing in real estate. Well, we invested together, but it was really funny. I was like, this is a direct result of me doing my work. I now have properties that create passive thousands of dollars each month with passive income. Crazy. All right. Get moving, get grooving, remove those money blocks. And I am super excited to see you in the Zoom call. Go make a decision right now. Join me on the Zoom call Sunday night, 4 p.m. Pacific time. I'll see you then. I love you so much, and I'll see you soon.